Hello, good morning. Good morning, Mom. So today I am going to present to you our introduction or the introduction of our study for your course, Quantity and Qualitative Research. So our title is Exploring Gay Lingo as a Cornerstone in LGBTQ Communication, a study within the Municipality of Tago. So this study is specified only on the LGBTQ on the municipality of Tago. It's language of the LGBT. So first is what is the study all about? So our study is all about exploring the terminologies embedded in gay lingo within the municipality of Tago, focusing on how the gay community applies these words in their daily communication. So the goal, of course, is to explore how the LGBT is using the gay lingo or the sword speak in their daily communication because there are a lot of gays in the municipality of Tago. Therefore, we want, of course, to explore into the varieties of those terminologies used by those gays. Next is unravel the nuanced impact of these terminologies on how both senders and receivers addressing societal perceptions of the validity of gay lingo despite its structural intricacies. So we're also aiming to this also research rather is aims to know how this language could address societal issues and how this language, of course, built a deeper sense of importance to the LGBT, especially in speaking sword speak or gay lingo. So, in this, we all know that there are a lot of proposed studies regarding to this. So, in this part, what other authors say. So we have here global phenomenon, gay lingo observed in various countries. That is according to the Sword Speak a Gay Lingo study um, research by a certain individual who are very interesting into this topic. So according to that, Philippine um, gays does not only have a terminologies referring for the gay language, and in the Filipino we call that gay lingo or sword speak. But in other country, just like in England, they have Polari. So Polari is a general term for a gay language. We also have Gail in South Africa, Bahasa in Indonesia. So these are the general terminology that referring to the gay language into those countries. Now we have an academic term scholars refer to the study of LGBTQ language practices as lavender linguistics. Also, linguistics profoundly explain that the gay language is called lavender linguistics, and according to them, why lavender linguistic? Because lavender represents the LGBT, the representations of the LGBT in the status quo of society. So we have here also the dynamic evolution. It is a constant expansion of gay lingo lexicon over time. Yes, we cannot deny that gay language nowadays is very it is profoundly expanded by how the gay language use it into their daily communication. So they have different kind of language, varieties of a gay language because gays are very creative, especially in their speaking or communicative forces. So we have lack. It is by the way a lack of formal rules. Sword speaks informal in nature and absence of structured guidelines. Of course, it doesn't follow a systematic structured in in communication because as we observe to those gays speaking that language, we can sometimes um, think that how that language come up like that and how that language evokes meaning that we cannot really understand it in the first place if we can observe it into its physical structure, because the language that used by that individual set of individual are very creative. They use rhetoric strategies in order to express the meaning of their language. So, in this study, we have, of course, the gap in knowledge. So, why there is a gap in knowledge into this? It is one of the necessary of a certain study to have a gap of knowledge. So we have a marginalization of gays, societal perception leading to discrimination. So why there is this sword speak or gay lingo? Because sometimes those marginalized people like the LGBT, especially gays, they use that language, of course, in order to manifest themselves into that society, fight against societal stigma and discrimination when regards to gender identity, sexual orientation, and social affiliations as a part of a whole. Therefore, they used that gay language in order to fight back, or even, of course, to shows that they are part of the society and they can, of course, be significant as man and woman performing their individual responsibilities and affiliations. Now we also have invalidation and prejudices, LGBT community facing societal injustice. We all know that LGBT are a subject to discrimination, violation, because people think that they are the marginalized, they are a little um, group of individuals that playing rules into their society. People can easy to discriminate not based on what those people can do, be not based on their capabilities, but into their physical appearances. So, unique slang exploration of the specific terminologies embedded in the gay lingo within the municipality of Tago. Therefore, we studied this because we want, of course, to know how these terminologies of gays into that particular place, into that particular municipality, helps LGBT to stand as a community, to fight, and of course to diminish stigma using their language, as well as how this group of individuals persist using their creative ways, especially on using language. So lack of formal structure, confusion caused by the informal nature and absence of rules and sword speak. But definitely in those language, why this also be part of our study? Because we all know that man and woman, straight man and woman, without the background into this language, those people cannot easy to understand. Like for example, when we say lafang, um, Werfa. So those kinds of examples that I have provided, if you are a man, a straight man and a woman, and you don't have anything to know in sword speak or gay lingo, it might be confused to you how to interpret and understand the language that the LGBT used as their communicative forces for evoking a more conventional communications. So, what is the significance of the study? So, foundation of society, language rule in facilitating connection and fostering interaction. Of course, this study aims that despite of the varieties of language that we have, the main goal is just to have a collaborative understanding with regards to language diversity. We all know that we have a diverse language because even we Filipino, we are called as multilingualism, or we are a multilinguistic individual because we have different and we have many kind of language. So in this, it is a representation that Despite of our diversity, despite of those language, what really important is to foster connections, because if there is connections, there will be of course a good society where people shares the same understanding, shares the same respect. So that is why the significance of the study entails that this study facilitates connections, interprets how those people using that language connects to one another. So LGBT struggles in the Philippines, battling discrimination and criticism. Of course, it addresses also the LGBT struggles in the Philippines in battling discrimination. So unique language impact of lingo, particularly word speak on communication dynamics, localization, focus study within the Municipality of Tago for unique linguistic nuances. So this is one of the main goal to explore on the the dynamic and the varieties of nuances of the gay language under the Municipality of Tago. So, societal recognition, contribution to understanding the validity of gay lingo as its impact to communication within the LGBTQ community. So of course, to have a social recognitions, how the society recognize the gay language. Is that gay language acceptable as a language? Is a variety of language of the gays? Or this or that language can be subject to a problem or a negative implications in connecting people in terms of having good communication. So this will be of course the general points of our topic, not just also to provoke some meaningful thoughts on investigating the gay language under the Municipality of Tago, but also to address what are those social issues, what this language can contribute for the progress of the society, and how this language of the gay lingo affects every individual's performing rules into the society. So we have now a conceptual framework. So we have a participants, both male and female, of course. This is one of the really important how these people understand gay language, if whether they can understand it or not, if they have confusion when they hear those language that the LGBT speak. So we have the process. So in process, we need to interviews, focus group discussion, and then for the output, analyze data research findings. Of course, if there will be a process of it where we can interview, we can make a group discussions together with those people, and definitely we can analyze how these people interpret gay language. Is that gay language unnecessary, or is that gay language is difficult to understand? Even the LGBT, of course, we can they can be a subject for it into this study. So if we have that collaborative kind of process, then definitely we can make and analyze data research findings, and we can provide how these people interpret gay language and word speak, and how this is language necessary or significance for the progress of the society, and on solving societal issues within the gays or the LGBT community. So this will be the part of my introductions for this study. Thank you so much for listening.
Once again, good day, ma'am. By the way, my name is Feby Alemana, together with Miss Carla Silagan and Mr. G. Marcorios. And for the continuation of the presentation, we have examined some related studies in foreign and local that are related into our research topic. First, in foreign, we have Gay Language in Ballet Sociolinguistic Study on Homosexual and Bisexual Men in Ballet. In this study, it highlights how language is dynamic within communities and how it varies depending on age, gender, occupation, education level, and ethnic origins. Among gay and bisexual males in Indonesia, a distinctive language phenomenon known as Bahasa Binkong, Bansi, or Bahasa Gay has developed. Rooted in the national language, Bahasa Indonesia, this study focuses on examining the linguistic aspects, derivation of purposes of this homosexual language among men in Bali. Also, in these studies, there is exploration of lexicon and other linguistic aspects of the homosexual language. This vocabulary was created by a highly creative process that involves forming new words by affixing existing words or morphemes to original words, as well as altering the semantics of the original terms. This study also identifies a number of words, creations, strategies, including acronyms, duplications, blending, vowel shift, back formations, syllabic substitutions, borrowing, and clipping. In this study, it also points out that homophobic terms like homo and bansi is transvitate. When we say transvitate, it is a person who wears clothing and adopt the appearance typically associated with the opposite gender for various reasons, such as self-expression, entertainment, or personal preference, are often used in the gay lexicon. In addition, this study explores the various roles that the homosexual language plays in the community. In addition to its grammatical aspects, it acts as a code of silence, strengthening the sense of identity and camaraderie among the group. It also noted that the gay language is a humorous tool that promotes friendlier, more pleasurable communication within the community. Next is we have gay language and Indonesia registering belonging. In this study, it explored linguistic dynamics of Bahasa Gay, a unique language spoken by Indonesian gay men. The national language of the nation, Bahasa Indonesia, is the source of this unusual linguistic phenomena, which is distinguished by derivational process, including the applications of certain suffixes and words substitutions. This study also explores this linguistic phenomenon via the lenses of state, power, and register, with the goal of determining how the use of Bahasa homosexual helps to fulfill understanding of gay subjectivity in connection to concepts of national belonging. The study also challenges the notion that gay Indonesians lie outside the norms of Indonesian societies. While they may have viewed as distinct, Bahasa homosexual emerges as a potent register of belonging within gay societies and popular culture. This study also examining Bahasa Gays not only explore into linguistic intricacies but also into broader cultural ramifications. It also emphasized the power of language to influence and reflect identity perceptions, particularly to oppressed areas. This study also contributes to a fuller knowledge of the intricate linkage between language, sexuality, and national belonging in the Indonesian context through the linguistic lens, suggesting more exploration in the complex interrelationship of culture, identity, and linguistic expressions. Next is where there gaze, there is Izinkumo, a linguistic and anthropological approach to Izikumo, South Africa's gay black language. In this study, it focuses that Isikumo, a violet language originating in modern day of South Africa's Zulu queer community. The study of lavender language comprises one-of-a-kind linguistic innovations by gay communities worldwide, functioning as coded ways of communication for expressions such as throwing shades or spilling the tea in a subtle manner. Lavender linguists study these languages such as Bahub in Brazil, Sword speak in the Philippines, with the goal of analyzing and documenting their evolution. Now, there are two well-developed lavender language in South Africa modern gays communities. Where it was called Gael, which is primarily spoken by the white homosexual community, and Isikumo, which is spoken by the Zulu gays community. The language landscape of these places bears the scar of apartheid-era racial segregations. Now, choosing to focus in Ishukumo, correct me if I'm wrong, this study hopes to add the scant literature and research already accessible on this specific purple language, being born and raised community by the author's personal connections that drive her writing after seeing a dearth of Maritar online author field driving to bring Isikumo to light in order to demonstrate the high degree of change throughout queer cultures. The study delves into a subtleties and complexity of Ishikumo. These options not only caters a foreign audience, but also provides accessibility for Isikumo speakers. The author of this study also emphasized the importance of shedding light on Isikumo in order to highlight the linguistic richness and cultural relevance hidden in lavender language in the context of queer communities. The study exemplifies the various and evolving nature of queer cultures by providing a forum and understanding and appreciation. In local studies, we have here the Hiligaynon Visayan gaze spoken discourse, a morphological analysis. In this study, it sheds light of how gay slangs emerge as type of anti-language, a term created by marginalized groups who needed a covert way to communicate in order to avoid persecution. Within the setting, LGBT Hiligaynon Bisaya people have involved a distinctive language and the need to record this language for future generation that is emphasized by the rapid lexical changes that are taking place. Using a self-administered questionnaire, this study uses a structural analysis of the morphology of Hiligaynon Bisayan gays jargon to determine the most common terminology among the LGBT community in the area. This study also reveals the nature of gay lingo as an adaptation of mainstream languages, including Hiligaynon Bisaya English and Filipino. By looking at data from 25 purposely selected homosexual college student and professional at Carlos Hilado Memorial State College, the result sheds light that the variety of approaches Ilonggo, Ilonggo gays take while building their vocabulary. These techniques included the following: using popular names, navatizing, loan terms, affixing straight words with affirmation, utilizing clipping affixations, cancellations, expressing connotations through visual and affixing corrupted denotations with loan words. Significantly, this study asserts that Hiligaynon Visayas gays at CHMSC or Carlos Hilado Memorial State College do not follow structural norms when communicating. Rather, it is portrayed as dynamic creature that is always changing to purposefully keep up with the times within the Hiligaynon gays community. Language have evolved intentionally, reflecting a sophisticated and flexible mode of communication. Next, we have here a comparative study on the formation of gay language, words, and utility vehicle express codes. In this study, it delves into a fascinating phenomenon of coded languages in Metro Manila, with a particular emphasis on the lingo used by UV Express drivers and the Filipino homosexual language. In this study, randomly selected Filipino gay terms and an additional 100 randomly selected UV Express codes will be reconstructively conceptualized and reverse engineered. A thorough analysis and contrast of the ideas and works inside these two different coded language is made possible by this methodical methodology. This study also provides a thorough inventory and explanations of the procedures involved in its formations. This paper is also significant because it adds to our understanding of the Filipino gay language, examining these linguistic expressions in detail helps the study illuminate the cultural and socioeconomic factors that influence language use in different Metro Manila areas. Furthermore, this study creates a precedent by being the first scholarly published article to examine Metro Manila UV Express codes. This is also an impressive since it sheds light on a little-known facet on the language environment of the city. The investigation of UB Express codes of this work contributes significantly to our knowledge the way in which language is invented and changed in many social and vocational contexts. In this study, it advanced linguistic studies and offer a sophisticated perspective on the creative and dynamic aspects of language in particular subcultures. Next is linguistic deviations of word speaks and its implications to gay students' English language competencies. In this study, it is an comprehensive exploration that aims to comprehend how sword speak affects gay students' language proficiency. Developing a sociolinguistic primer on sword speak and its linguistic nuances, finding linguistic deviations in sword speak used by gay students, and examining how this language use impact their language competence are among the goals of the project. To achieve these goals, the researcher used a qualitative study approach with 12 informants from Suba National High School to accomplish these objectives. During 2019-2020 school year, unscripted sword speak interaction were recorded to capture student using language in its natural context. This result also highlights how important sword speak is in giving gay students a sense of identity, supporting their self expression, establishing a private area through camouflage, and encouraging a comfort zone in their own language. The, the suggested sociolinguistic primer on SwordSpeak is also geared for beginning, implementation, and evaluation. Taking into account its linguistic variations, the goal of this primer is to help students incorporate the language into their learning process by encouraging them to use it imaginatively. It is advised that students engage in speaking exercises to increase their self-assurance when communicating their thoughts, and that they can acquainted with linguistic div- deviance categories to help enhance their general verbal proficiency. That's all for the related study in relation to our topic, which is gay lingo or gay language research. Thank you for listening, ma'am. Have a good day and God bless you and your family.
Hi everyone, so I am Kyla Silagan and today I am going to continue the discussion for our chapter 3 which is methodology, and I am going to discuss what will be the methods of our research study. To the research design, so it employs a qualitative interview methodology, opting for semi-structured interview to facilitate the exploration of narrative and descriptive data. So in line with an Oakley's perspective, the qualitative interview is viewed as a robust framework for systematically documenting practice and standard within a given context. The emphasis lies in unrevealing the intricate narratives behind participation experiences, recognizing the significance of individual stories is constructing a comprehensive understanding of the research phenomenon. So, to ensure coherence and focus during interviews, participants are provided with an interview guide beforehand. So, this proactive step aims to familiarize participants within the research topic, encouraging thoughtful reflection and enabling them to articulate their experiences in a detailed and nuanced manner. So the integration of Oakley framework and the provision of an interview guide collectively contribute to the methodologically rigorous approach that captures the depth and richness of the participants' perspectives and experiences. So now, let us proceed to the research locale. Research local for this study is at the Municipality of Tago, specifically focusing on Barangay Tago, Surigao del Sur. The selection of this local is strategically aligned with the study's primary objective, which is to gain an in-depth understanding of the language used by the gay individuals in communication. By choosing the specific community within Surigao del Sur, the research aims to explore the linguistic nuances and cultural context that shape the communication practices of a gay individuals in this particular setting. The selection of a specific municipality and barangay allows for more targeted and contextually grounded investigation, considering that language use and communication styles can vary across different regions and communities. This local specific approach enhances the study's ability to uncover the intricacies of gay communication within the unique sociocultural landscape of Barangay Tago, contributing to a more nuanced and contextually relevant exploration of the research topic. Now let's proceed to the research participant for this study will consist of 10 individuals who identify as gay, encompassing both male and female participants. The selection process will involve a random sampling method drawn from the substantial population of Tago. This approach aims to ensure diversity within the sample, capturing a range of perspectives and experiences among gay individuals in the community. By including both male and female participants, the study recognizes the diversity within the gay community and seeks to explore potential variation in language use and communication styles based on gender identity. So the random selection method adds an element of impartiality to participants' recruitment, enhancing the study's external validity and generalizability to the broader gay population in Tago. The inclusion of 10 participants is deemed sufficient to achieve the study objectives with confidence that this sample size will yield comprehensive and essential information regarding the language used by gay individuals in communication within the specified local. So now let's proceed to the data collection. Now for the data collection procedure will commence with the acquisition of informed consent from the randomly selected participants who identify as a gay, of course. Special attention will be given to underage participants with parental consent sought and respected prior to their involvement in the study. The semi-structured interview will be conducted with a flexible approach to question formulation, allowing for organic exploration of participants' language use in communication. To capture the richness of responses, the interviews will be audio recorded and later transcribed into the written text. Transcription into English will be undertaken to ensure uniformity and facilitate data analysis. As a quality control measure, participants will be revisited to confirm the accuracy of the transcribed data, promoting transparency and participant validation in the research process. This comprehensive data collection procedure is designed to uphold ethical standards, maintain participant confidentiality, and yield robust qualitative data for in-depth analysis and interpretation. So, let's proceed to the data procedure. For the last procedure, this is the data analysis procedure. Um, it utilizing the method outlined by Brown and Clark 2006. The process encompasses several case steps to derive meaningful insights from the transcribed data. Initially, the data will be thoroughly scrutinized to identify recurring patterns, topics, and concepts. Through a systematic coding process, segments of data will be labeled to represent specific themes or ideas. These codes will then be organized and condensed into broader categories, facilitating a more structured analysis. The subsequent steps involve deriving overarching themes for these categories. This process aims to encapsulate answers to the study's research questions and illuminates the key aspects of language used by gay individuals in communication within the chosen locale, of course. The thematic analysis method allows for a holistic exploration of the dataset, ensuring that the complexity and the diversity of participants' experiences and expression are captured. Throughout the analysis, carefully attention will be paid to the nuances and variation in participants' responses, and the emerging themes will be thoroughly described and reported. This approach not only provides a comprehensive understanding of the language dynamics within the gay communication in Tago, but also allows for the identification of potential subthemes or variation within the overarching patterns. Overall, the thematic analysis procedure by Brown and Clark offers a systematic and flexible framework to distill meaningful insights from the qualitative data collection during the semi-structured interviews. So, I guess this and my parts, I am done introducing to you our methodology or the methods of how will our study will be conducted. So thank you for listening and God bless.